right, good evening, everybody. Today we're going to be doing practice and problem solving for multiplying rational numbers. I'm going to take the odd numbers and you guys will have the even ones. We're going to start with number 7. Well, it says here that we've got negative 2.655 times 18.44. Well, first of all, we have to remember we have a negative number multiplied to a positive number. So our answer has to be negative. Remember the rules that a positive times a positive gives us a positive answer. And a negative times a negative will give us a positive answer as well. Remember, if the signs are the same, we get positive answers. The only time that we get negative answers if we have a positive times a negative or a negative times a positive. All right, so let's multiply negative 2.655 times 18.44. And I could go ahead and do the multiplication the long way, but I'm going to use my calculator, take a shortcut here. And we've got, let's see, 2.655 multiplied to 18.44. That's going to give us 48.9582. 48.9582. 48.9582. And I'll double check the calculator just to make sure I wrote it correctly. 48.9582. And that is our answer for number 7. All right, let's move on to number 9, because you guys have the even ones. Number 9 says we have negative 2.5 times negative 1 2/3. Well, now we have to turn these fractions, or these mixed numbers, into improper fractions, right? So the first one we're going to have is 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So this is really going to be negative 5 over 2. And that's going to be multiplied to, well, this is 3 times 1, right? And it's a negative number as well. 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So that's going to be 5 over 3. Okay, and now we can multiply the top number to the top number. Remember, we multiply the numerator to the numerator and the denominator to the denominator. So negative 5 times negative 5 is going to give us a positive 25. Remember what we said, a negative times a negative equals a positive. And then 2 times 3 will give us 6. Now I have to see how many times does 6 go into 25, because remember, every fraction is really a division problem. This is really 25 divided by 6. Well, we know that 4 times 6 is 24, so we're going to multiply this to 4. And that's going to give us a remainder of 1, which means our answer is 4 1/6. All right, and we're off to number 11. All right, next let's go to number 11. We got negative 7.5 times negative 2 3/4. Well, let's turn these into fractions so we can go ahead. Remember, we cannot take decimals and combine them with fractions, so we're going to turn this one into a fraction so we can get an answer that's a fraction. First of all, 7.5 is really 7.5. We know this because 0.5, if we turn it into a fraction, we would put a 0 under it, put a 1 in front, and now we can both divide the top and bottom by 5. And that would give us 1 over 2. So that means this is negative 7 1/2 times negative 2 3/4. Once again, we got to turn this into improper fractions before we can multiply. So 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 1 is 15. So this would be negative 15 over 2. We're going to multiply this to the improper fraction we'll create here. 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 3, well, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that'd be negative 11 over 4. And now we multiply the numerator to the numerator and the denominator to the denominator. So 15 times 11. Well, let's see here. 15 times 11 gives us 165. So this would be 165 over 2 times 4, which is 8. And we know that a negative times a negative equals a positive. Now we have to see how many times 8 goes into 165. Well, if we take 165, we divide it by 8, we see that 8 goes into 16 2 times, leaving us with a remainder of 5. From here, we see that 8 does not go into 5, so that makes us 0 here, right? So that's going to be a 20 with the remainder of, let's see here, 5 over 8, right? So our answer would be 20 and 5/8. Next, we're going to tackle number 13. 13 has another decimal multiplied to another fraction. So we're going to take this decimal and we're going to turn it into a fraction. Well, we know that if we have 0.2 and we turn it into a fraction, we put a line under it, we put 10 for the number that's there, and then put a 1 in front of that. Now we have 2 over 10, and both of those are divisible by 2. That's going to give us 1 over 5. So this is going to be 0.2 equals 1 over 5. And since it's a negative 0.2, this would be a negative 1 over 5. We're going to multiply that to negative 5 over 6. Well, 1 times 5, and that's a negative 1 times a negative 5. So that's going to give us a positive 5. Right? A negative times a negative is a positive, and 1 times 5 is 5. Now we have 5 times 6, and that's 30. Now notice we do not use the negative sign again on the bottom. Okay, we only use it on the top numbers. And now we have 5 over 30. Well, both of those are divisible by 5. So we're going to reduce this. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 30 divided by 5 is 6. So our answer is going to be 1 over 6. All right, looks like it's time to go to number 15. At the beginning of the season, Jamie pays full price for a ticket to see the Panthers, her favorite baseball team. Okay, it looks like the ticket prices decrease 41 cents for every game the Panthers lose this season. Oh boy. Okay. Now it says the Panthers currently have 33 wins and 31 losses. All right. Then it says represent the total change in the cost of tickets given their losses. All right. So let's examine exactly how many losses that the Panthers have. Well, according to this, the Panthers have lost 31 games, right? And it says here that they're going to reduce the ticket prices 0.41 for every one of those losses. So we would have to take 31 and multiply it to 0.41. And that would tell us the total change in the cost of the tickets, right? Let's see. Well, 1 times 1, well, that's 1. And 3 times 1, that's 3. Now we have to put a 0 here. And now we have, let's see, 1 times 4, that's 4. And 3 times 4, that's 12. And now we have to add them together. Well, that gives us 1 and 7 and 12. And because we had 2 decimal places over, that'll be 12.71. So representing the total change in the cost of tickets, given our losses, that would be, let's see, the total change would be negative $12.71. Right? And I guess I could put this dollar sign here, right? It would be reduced $12.71. Now it's asking, what is the cost of the tickets for the next game they play? Well, originally the cost of the tickets were $49.64. And now we have to reduce $12.71 from that. When I do this, I see that I have 4 minus 1, that's going to be 3. This I need to borrow, right? So that's going to turn this into an 8. And this is going to be 16. That's going to be a difference of 9. And 8 minus 2 is 6. And 4 minus 1 is 3. So the new price of the tickets is going to be $36.93. And do I have any more to do? Nope, 16. Oh, here we go, number 17. Yes, I do. All right, so let's go on to number 17. It says Ming incorrectly says that this product is 4/63. Well, we're going to have to look at this very carefully here. What is the correct product? Well, the correct product, let's see, we've got a negative times a negative, and that's going to make a positive, right? So this is really positive 4/9. And we're going to multiply this to negative 1/7. I think I can already see what Ming did wrong. He got a positive answer, but we know a positive times a negative is going to equal a negative answer. So 4 times 1 is 4. And 7 times 9, that's 63. So the correct product should be negative 4/63. Oops, that 60. Negative 4/63. Last question is part B, where it says, what error could Ming have made? Well, it seems to me that he forgot to multiply these two negative signs together in order to make his first fraction a positive number. So if I had to type that out, I would say he forgot to change his first fraction into a positive number. All right. And is there any more for me? No, that was the last one. Well, good luck with the rest of them, and I'll see you in class tomorrow. Have a good one.